Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome back. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma, and this is what I call my morning musings. I'm sharing a great cup of coffee with you this morning, some thoughts from the Word of God to help us all come to a better understanding of the will and the Word of our God. I'm sharing with you some incredible thoughts from 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. I don't have to tell you that 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 is really the key text for the doctrine of the dispensational doctrine of the rapture, in which all of the righteous suddenly, miraculously, instantaneously disappear off of the face of the earth. Now, the wicked don't see them disappear. They don't see the Lord coming in the air. They don't hear the sound of the trumpet. They don't hear the voice of the archangel, etc., etc. It all happens in the spiritual realm. The non-dispensationalist, a good part of the evangelical Christian world, believes that 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 refers to the end of time. Earth and all of the elements therein are burnt up instantaneously. The church is miraculously swept up into the air to meet Jesus and then goes back to where Jesus has been in heaven. The problem of it is, the word that is translated, we shall meet him in the air, simply does not allow that. This is really an incredible point. I remember some years ago when I was doing research and I discovered the technical, proper lexical definition of the Greek word meet, or the Greek word apontesis, translated as meet. I was literally stunned. I could not believe what I was finding. Now, to say that the technical original meaning of apontesis is stunning and challenging is a huge understatement. Let me read to you just a little bit of the documentation that I provide in my book, We Shall Meet Him in the Air, the Wedding of the King of Kings. Because you see, I knew that if the technical meaning of apontesis is taken in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, then almost all of futurist eschatology is completely falsified. That's how powerful it is. Now, I want you to know that there's basically a threefold way of determining whether the technical, what they call the technical definition of apontesis, is to be seen. Number one is the use itself in its primary original definition. Number two, when apontesis was used with another technical word, parousia, then it almost invariably had its technical definition. And then when you couple apontesis with parousia, with the concept of a royal visit, not just a regular mundane individual being met, but a royal dignitary being met, then the technical definition is virtually assured and guaranteed. Okay, now listen very carefully to this. And again, this is from my book, We Shall Meet Him in the Air, the Wedding of the King of Kings. This is page 142. And by the way, once again, in this book, I investigate the technical definition from the lexicons and the Greek grammars, from the Greek commentators, that is, the commentators who focus on the Greek language, how the word is used in the New Testament, and then I investigate how apontesis is used in Josephus. Pretty thorough investigation. Okay, here's what some of the lexicons say. Balls and Snyder, widely recognized as a major authority in the Greek. And they say that it had the technical term, but then they say that if we accept the technical term, quote, it has far-reaching deductions regarding the parousia of the kurios to the miniature apocalypse of 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, i.e. being caught up in the air. And the delayed coming of the numphios, that is the groom, coming of the Lord as the bridegroom. And it says that it has quote, far-reaching deductions, unquote. Reckon? That's an understatement, because as I said, if you take the technical definition of apantesis, then the dispensational rapture doctrine is destroyed. The idea of the church being caught off of the earth, of anyone being removed from the earth, is completely destroyed. Bowers, Arndt, and Gingrich, they only give a brief definition with several non-biblical references, but they do include the technical. Bullinger's critical lexicon of 1908 says that apantesis meant to come or to go from a place toward a person, to meet that person face to face from opposite directions, and especially to meet and to come back with that person. Kittle's Theological Dictionary. The word is to be understood as a technical term for a civic custom of antiquity whereby a public welcome was accorded by a city to important visitors. Lowe and Nida, Moulton Milligan, Thayers, Vines, all of these develop the definition of apantesis, some in varying degrees. Some do not really comment on the technical side, but those who do investigate it agree that apantesis was being used or had a technical definition to go out, to escort back. And folks, that means that if apantesis in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 is being used in its normal, first century, proper, technical definition by Paul, that means the dispensational doctrine of the rapture is destroyed, and it means that the idea that at some proposed end of time, the church is whisked off of the earth and taken away to heaven is completely negated and falsified. As I stated in the previous installment, 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 is the coming of Christ to restore fellowship between heaven and earth. It's not a removal of the church in any way, shape, form, or fashion. It is the restoration of fellowship between heaven and earth. Hey, look, get my book. This material will absolutely blow you away. Go to my website, eschatology.org, bibleprophecy.com, or donkpreston.com. Order the book, We Shall Meet Him in the Air, The Wedding of the King of Kings. Mention that you saw the offer on YouTube or Facebook, and I'll refund your shipping. Hey, this is really great. We've got more. We'll see you on the flip side.